What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Dave and I make content around running, shoe reviews and my life. And today I'm going to talk about a shoe that I actually purchased way back in January, but I didn't have the chance to show them the love that they deserved. Now this shoe has cemented itself into my rotation as a reliable, cushioned and rocket fast racer. I've got with me here the Hoka Rocket X2. As a disclaimer guys, I purchased this shoe with my own money. And so everything that I say in this review is completely my own opinion. The best thing that you can do for yourself is go down to your local running store, try a bunch of shoes on, see which one works best for you and your foot, and then happy days. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into my full review where in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about why I've been reaching for this shoe instead of the Sky Paris or the Saucony Endorphin Elite, what I think is missing, and would I recommend this shoe? Now let's get into it. So I've now run over 100 kilometers in this shoe and let it be known that it's all been quality. So that means that there's been no easy running done in this shoe. It's all been done at pace, at speed, in sessions. But it wouldn't be a full review if we didn't go through the specs. Once again, we're gonna go rapid fire style. All right, so it's a tip of the spear product geared for elite athletes. So they've remastered the geometry of the carbon fiber plates and they've sandwiched it between two layers of a brand new, ultra responsive, highly resistant PEBA foam. And you know we love PEBA around here. It's got a 36 millimeter stack with a 5 millimeter drop. So one of the smallest stacks in the super shoes out there at the moment. So it comes in at about 230 grams for my US 9. Comparing that to some of the other super shoes on the market, we've got the Sky Paris that is 180 grams and the Saucony Endo Elite, which comes in at 200 grams. So you could definitely say this is one of the heavier super shoes on the market at the moment, but it doesn't really feel that way. So regarding the fit, the toe box is actually quite narrow. So I actually ended up going up half a size for this one, and then the fit ended up being pretty good, although it is still pretty wide in the forefoot. They've gone for very minimal padding around the heel and the ankle. There's actually no padding here on the heel, and then there's just little tiny grooves that you can see around the ankle. It has a pretty solid lockdown, and I didn't really feel any slippage on the heel or any rubbing. So I think they seem to have done a pretty good job there. The tongue is very minimal. It is a gusseted tongue, so that means that it's attached to the shoe. And then, yeah, you can get a pretty good lockdown at the top. So the reason I have the laces missing here is because I'm struggling with a bit of a forefoot issue and I'm just trying to relieve some pressure on my forefoot. So I'm just having it locked down more at the top rather than at the front. And I guess that goes back to, it is a little bit narrow in the toe box, which kind of adds to that sort of forefoot pain. It comes in at a whopping $380, which I guess is pretty standard these days for super shoes. So when do I use it? I've been using the Rocket X2 for everything speed. I smash out 2 speed sessions a week at a range of different paces. So that's 5K, 10K, thresholds, you name it. And what I've come to realize, it's a bloody solid shoe. Generously soft and super responsive. The less aggressive rocker and the lower stack actually makes me feel like this is more suited for K-reps and sessions rather than marathons. But that's just personal preference for me. I feel like I like to have a bit more underfoot when I run the longer stuff. That being said, I did run the half marathon portion of my Gold Coast double marathon weekend in the Rocket X2s, and they felt propulsive and protective. PP if you must. I will comment on the grip though. The morning of the half marathon, it was bucketing down and it was sprinkling on and off during the race. So this meant that the roads were extremely wet for pretty much the entire duration of the race. And I'm not gonna lie, the grip wasn't the best in the wet weather. But that being said, neither is my other favorite shoe, the Saucony Endorphin Elite. Those are pretty average in the wet as well. And pretty much most shoes do seem to have that slippage in the wet, with one exception maybe being the Adios Pro 3 with that continental grip. That stuff is just honestly the best. I will say it is a bit annoying when you are slipping with each step, especially in a race or a half marathon where you are running fast. It just adds that little bit extra, fatigue every time your foot slips, and just puts a little bit more strain on the calves. And over time, I personally definitely feel the difference. The plate setup combined with the new super foam in the midsole makes the shoe feel incredibly propulsive and snappy. The Rocket X2 is for runners that are looking for a punchy alternative to the Vaporfly 3 and Adios Pro 3, but has a little bit more stability. The durability on this one after 100 Ks, as you guys can see, is looking pretty good. No noticeable marks, no wear and tear. Even the exposed foam underneath is looking pretty good. And the grip, barely got any wear on it at all as well. Okay, into the cons. And I actually have a couple of cons for once. So firstly, it's a narrow toe box. You probably could have guessed that would be my first con. It is a surprisingly narrow toe box. So I originally got these in my true to size 8.5, and I actually had to return them for a 9. So I would recommend going up half a size, just because it is quite narrow in the toe box. But with that being said, the midfoot is quite wide. So that's the plus, but it does go quite skinny as you get to the end of the toe box there, which is not ideal for someone like me. Wider brands always seem to do this to me. I don't know. My next con is it is a heavier option to its competitors by about 30 to 40 grams for most of them, which may not seem like a lot, but if you're used to something like the Metaspeed Sky Paris, which comes in at 180 grams, then this is probably gonna feel pretty heavy for you. And my last con is the price point. So this comes in at, like I said before, 380 Australian dollars, which is a lot of money. It's a lot of money, so you would want probably a lighter shoe. I think it really stacks up in every other way as a super shoe, and I think it is still very competitive. I don't really understand why I don't see more Rocket X's out on the starting line. I do see a couple, but I don't know. I don't know why I don't see more of these. They are bloody great, but I think the price point might have some influence there. But in saying that, it's kind of the way all super shoes are going now anyway. That $380 price point doesn't seem so crazy after looking at the Cielo from Hoka as well, or looking like what else is there? The Saucony Elites, those are $370, $380. If it was closer to the 340, I'm pretty much gonna complain about price no matter what, unless it's maybe 340 or less, then I think that's pretty reasonable to pay for a super shoe. Like $350 tops, and I'd be happy to pay that. But as soon as you start getting over the top of that, it's gonna be a con for me, unfortunately. So would I recommend the Rocket X2? If you're looking for a shoe that you can smack out K-reps, go and grab a coffee after, then this is a shoe for you. If you're a runner who prefers feather light races, then this probably isn't gonna be the shoe for you. But if you're looking to buy into the Hoka super shoe game and be genuinely impressed by the performance, like I was, then this is the shoe for you. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Rocket X2, and let me know in the comments what shoe that you think I should review next. In conclusion, guys, I do think Hoka have made something special here. If you get the opportunity to try these on, I would recommend doing it just to see what all the fuss is about. It is pretty awesome. And Hoka have definitely restored my faith in them after being a little bit let down with the Skyward X and having to return them and but yeah, I'm definitely keeping these ones, and I'm gonna be wearing these to death. But that's gonna conclude my full review of the Hoka Rocket X2. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share this video for anybody that you think would be interested, and thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Cue the flames.